Welcome back. This is Chapter 10, The Undercity.
Anderson. Anderson! Rock!
We are in the Undercity. I'm assuming this is supposed to be representative of the Big Stinky. I think that's what it's
Control,
called.
this is Dredd. Control, it's Rock. No signal down here.
I might be totally wrong about that. I just remember the Big Stinky from one of the few Judge Dredd stories that I do actually know in its entirety. Or at least I know the BBC representation of it in their, oh god, BBC did a radio broadcast play thing of it. They did quite a bunch of the Judge Dredd stories, and the one that I'm thinking of is the... shit, what is it called? Christ. It's the one with Judge Cal. Judge Fish. Why can I not remember the name of it? This is bugging me. Oh, The Day the Law Died. Of course. Anyways, Judge Dredd, in a desperate attempt to kill Judge Cal, because he's a fucking maniac, he ends up crashing a Lawmaster, or whatever their flying ship is. He crashes it into the ground, it breaks through the concrete of the street, and ends up in the sewer/underworld, otherwise known as the Big Stinky, I think. I think it's supposed to be like the Ohio River, or the Michigan River. Shit, I am so bad with locations. Needless to say, it's an old world river that became so polluted, and so just fetid, and just gross, and tainted by everything, that the city, Mega City 1, just basically paved over it. So they just paved over all the old architecture, all the old infrastructure of this massive river that was polluted and stank like shit. And so they just built on top of it. And underneath, in the underworld, lives mutants, of course. Because why not? Mutants in the underworld, of course. And radiation and all that jazz. Anyways, that was a really good story, The Day the Law Died. Judge Cal is crazy maniac judge. Of course, he is supposed to be representative of Caligula. If you don't know who Caligula was, he was an old... well, he wasn't an old one. He was a Roman emperor from, I believe, the year 38 till 42 AD. And he was...
I can feel your fear, Dredd. Come to me, face me, and know true justice in death.
You're gonna wish you stayed locked up, Fear.
He was infamous for being a complete sadistic psychopath who tortured and had all kinds of weird, crazy sex things. It was just a mess, but I'm not going to talk about Roman history. This is silly. We're going to talk about the game. So this big horde of vampires is very easily dealt with because their pathing and their AI is terrible. They can't get up here. Or they sort of can, but they have a ton of trouble with it. So you can pretty much just ignore them. This level's actually pretty difficult, to be honest. There is very limited ammo, very limited health. And vampires hit like bricks. One vampire somehow managed to get up here, but it kind of bugged out in the wall. And the first time I played this level, I didn't actually know there was this Judge shotgun in that little kind of dark hidden corner that I picked it up in. There's a normal shotgun that you can pick up from the Death Cultists. But it is so worse. It is just... the first couple times I did this level, I was using the normal shotgun. And it takes like 5 or 6 shotgun hits, like straight-on hits, to kill those fat zombies. But only 2 from the Judge shotgun, which is really impressive. Here we have an Apocalypse How poster for the Metropolitan Museum. We'll be getting to that museum in just a minute. Well, in a few minutes. This level's really interesting, and it's really hard.
This is Control. We've managed to boost the signal, so we should be able to communicate from now on.
Understood, Control.
There's also quite a lot of... They're kind of, I guess, supposed to be jump scares. We've already seen a ton of them. Like shelving falls down, or pieces of the roof collapse just as you walk near it, and it's kind of funny. They're really... I don't know if they're just supposed to be jump scares, or if they're just supposed to be, oh hey neat, something's happening. Just the way they're set up, it's sort of like a jump scare, but they're really not effective in that way at all. Overall, though, it is a really cool looking level. I like that little scream because that implies there's someone actually in there, just hanging out. It's kind of weird. I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, there are people down here, civilians. I completely did not mean to throw that grenade.
Judge Fear is hiding in the remains of old New York's Metropolitan Museum. Get there fast.
On my way.
So, this is Judge Anderson that we're talking to. She's down here as well, somewhere up ahead of us. She is presumably chasing after Judge Fear herself. We learned of this at the end of the last level, where Judge Death escapes, and we warn Judge Anderson that he just escaped into this underworld, and she's already down here. She says Judge Fear is down here. And Judge Fear is my favorite of all the judges, probably. I think he's the most interesting. Kind of. I mean, he doesn't... I couldn't find a backstory for him like there is of Judge Fire and Judge Death. I really don't know the other 2 judges, if they have a neat, intricate history or whatever. The Death is Sidney Death, and Fire was Judge Fugo, which is Spanish for fire. So here's another kind of little, I guess, jump scare? I don't know. Go near the car, and the little car alarm goes off. This is a, what, Left 4 Dead prototype? No. Not at all. So anyways, Judge Fear. He kills people just by scaring them to death, essentially. He can take his faceplate off of his weird little mask and show you the true face of Fear. And people stare at it and just die of fright. It's pretty interesting, because there's been some panels where they show his face and what it looks like. And I remember looking at one of them, and it's just a bunch of eyeballs, very Lovecraftian almost. Another one where it's the view from behind him, and you see him open it up, and it's just a bunch of tentacles and like hooks and piercing spikes and spines and just all kinds of crazy weird shit. So he's a really interesting visual kind of judge. I like that quite a bit. He's also, I would say, the most interesting of the boss fights in this game. The other ones were actually just gimmicks. I mean, Judge Fire, you couldn't hit him. Judge Death wasn't even a fight. He was just a cutscene. Judge Mortis, again, you could kill him, but that just fails you. You gotta click a bunch of buttons. And then he just kind of traps himself into a quarantine chamber for whatever reason. But this one's actually a fight, and I like that. It's kind of difficult. First couple times I played this level, he killed me a few times just because I was low on health and ammo. And it's kind of a bitch to kill him, he has quite a bit of health. He also, in addition to his fright ability to scare people to death, he's really into caltrops, or man-traps, or bear traps? I don't know what they're called, really. But he throws down a lot of bear traps. Like, a lot of bear traps. We will see so many bear traps. I guess that's something he does in the comic, too. I don't know if that's just, like, he summons magical bear traps out of his pockets, his bag of infinite holding, or if he, like, makes them when he's not out killing people. He has a workshop where he just makes traps all day. I really don't know, but I think it's really interesting. This whole level is just really cool. Its design is awesome. Kind of debating whether I want to stick with the grenade launcher as my secondary weapon. I really wish you could get rid of the lawgiver. Even if you don't have ammo for it, I don't think you can actually get rid of it. Like, you can only ever trade out your secondary weapon, which is really annoying. So this is the part of the level that actually gives me quite a bit of trouble, as we'll see here in a minute. And only because there is these grenade launcher guys, and they can kill you pretty quickly. As you see right now, my health is pretty much nothing. I know there's a health pickup in here somewhere, but I couldn't remember exactly where it is. So I'm trying to be pretty careful here. And if I had just turned around right here, it is literally right behind me, but I didn't notice it. So quite a few tries and a lot of trouble. This little section right here just kept taking out too much of my health. Just gave me such a hard time right here. So I'd try some different tactics and then instantly get killed by a grenade. So homing bullets were pretty good, but I still took too much damage trying to use them. So here I decide just using the high X rounds, which works, but again, I still took quite a bit of damage, and instantly get killed. I'm a little smarter here. This time I actually throw a grenade, because I forget these guys are actually just humans, and they are very susceptible to the stomp gas. And that worked out really well. I really love the layout in the museum here. It's kind of too bad a lot of the textures are the same, but they are quite nice. I like all the little flavor stuff, and the wall textures and murals, all that kind of stuff that we'll see in a second. Whenever I kill this last guy. So all the enemies are dead. Now I'm just gonna take a little look around. Still looking for that health pickup, but I'll find it in a minute. In the meantime, I decided to look at some of the textures. So this is the war exhibit, I guess. The Apocalypse How war exhibit. All that text, as far as I can tell, is just gibberish. It's just random letters. Of course, it's all the same textures. Just random, completely random letters. It's kind of weird they didn't even try to make words when they obviously have a high enough resolution on that text to be readable, but it's not, because it's just gibberish. Same with this one. It's just random bullshit. Weird. So those are really the only textures in this place. Everything is the same. I was thinking maybe there were some different ones, but no, it's just those two different varieties. Oh, and I guess I was wrong about where that health pack was. Whatever, doesn't matter. design here.
Injustice to Mega City 1. Already Dead World begins to merge with this dimension.
Keep talking, creep. You'll be back in the penitentiary before you know it.
The already dead world begins to merge with this dimension, and all you can tell him is that he'll be back in jail. God damn it, Judge Dredd. So this is pretty neat, some hieroglyphs. I'm sure that these are actual, like, legitimate, real textures that they just ripped from Google or whatever, Smithsonian Metropolitan Museum website or something. But I think they're really cool. I don't know exactly who those are. I don't know if it's supposed to be like Anubis, the god of death, or whatever the hell. I don't know, Egyptian mythology. But they're very neat. I like this lion mural too, it's quite cool. So here we go. The boss fight with Judge Fear. It's the only real boss fight in the game, I guess. Throwing out his million fucking cow traps, or man traps, bear traps.
Don't move, creep.
He just does not stop throwing them out. I'm really trying my best to actually get close to him, but he really doesn't let you. I want to actually see him and show off his model a bit. I'll have to come back and do this again to get some screenshots of it. Because he really doesn't give you an opportunity to get close and look at him. He's quite interesting looking. And I'm out of ammo for my grenade launcher. Great. And my high-axe rounds are really inefficient, it seems. So I decided to go with my tried and true armor piercing. Hands down the most useful of any of the ammo types. So here we can get a pretty good look at him. He doesn't actually do that much damage. Even his traps, like if he throws all three at you, it really doesn't do too much damage. That was handy that that Ghostbuster pack was right there.
Control, I've trapped Judge Fear in the Egyptian vault of the Metropolitan Museum.
Roger that.
Anderson must have gone through. Druck!
Well, that's it. I will see you next
I
time.
am the law.
See you then.